the moment, as you can imagine. The art of the deal's all over the Twitter sphere right now, as people say, I mean, maybe this is the way he planned it.
I want to tell you right now that Donald Trump outsmarted the world. Trust me, I'm an American. I support my president. But that's not really what happened here, from what I understand.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
But how significant would you expect that? Do you personally expect a recession?
I am going to defer to my economists at this point, but I think probably that's a likely outcome.
Mm-hmm.
After Trump was forced to walk back his big, beautiful plans for America, but not before making his billionaire friends a few more bucks.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $4.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad. He's in financials. I've always been following.
Well, his band of cult followers were trying to present it as this masterful negotiating tactic.
Excuse me, Raquel, if I could just add to what the secretary said. Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China, when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers.
But not everyone on Fox News were willing to toe the line, which made for some interesting moments.
People, business leaders are saying to me, why are we doing this? Everyone was very excited about President Trump's agenda, deregulation, tapping into energy, tax cuts, and now, boom, with these tariffs, everything has changed. Why are we doing this?
Well, Maria, I think it's, as you said in the last segment, it's all of the above. You know, President Trump was elected with a mandate. He's closed the border, so check on that. We are doing the very large deportation of people, criminals, and people who have overstayed their visits, their period. So we're in the midst of that. And now President Trump is tackling the trade agenda. And this isn't done in isolation.
There was, of course, the usual pushback from the world's most patient woman, Jessica Tarlov.
It's great to be here.
Around the table.
Around the table.
You're saying that now?
That's a good opening line. Thank you. Trump even admitted that it wasn't the art of the deal or be cool. He said he was watching the bond market. And that's what decided this. He had to cave. I think CNBC's Steve Leisman, he said he didn't just flinch, he ducked. There are trillions still lost. And our very own Charlie Gasparino has been on for the last couple of hours saying that he wished it weren't so, but that the truth is that the White House capitulated. We still have tons of tariffs on, even our closest trading partners. They still don't make any sense. There's a lack of clarity on the specific numbers for Mexico and Canada.
But in a particularly shocking turn of events, Fox business correspondent Charles Gasparino had to force his Fox colleagues to hear the truth. That truth being that it was not some master at work. It wasn't someone playing chess or checkers. It was a man-child-in-chief playing with crayons in the corner as people watched their savings circle the drain.
Quite the moment, as you can imagine. The art of the deal's all over the Twitter sphere right now, as people say, I mean, maybe this is the way he planned it. To John's point, Charlie, about the Treasury Secretary saying, maybe you could say that he goaded China into a bad position for themselves. Well, don't retaliate. Things will work out well, he said.
I mean, I want to tell you right now that Donald Trump outsmarted the world. Trust me, I'm an American. I support my president. But that's not really what happened here, from what I understand. And I know I'll get pushback, but here's what it is. First off, we should point out that one of the good things about this is that Scott Bessent is finally in the White House. He's finally leading this. I mean, up until a couple of days ago, it was Lutnick, it was Peter Navarro, the Commerce Secretary, the trade advisor, very much hawks. Now it's Scott Bessent, who believes in cutting deals as opposed to just just putting these tariffs out there and let's be a mercantilistic economy. That's number one. But number two, let's recall what happened overnight. And from what I understand, and I'm getting this from people that are talking to the White House, what happened in the bond market overnight, the spike in yields on the 30-year and the 10-year bond, which showed that people were dumping our bonds. And who are those people dumping our bonds? Japan, the biggest holder of bonds, was selling bonds. That's what I'm getting from some very big money managers. China, maybe to some extent, but it was largely Japan and others. If you have a mass sale of bonds, that means people are losing confidence in the U.S. economy, on the ability to do deals with us. And from what I understand, this is what forced the hand of this 90-day reprieve. Now, is it a good thing? Are people coming to the table? Yeah. But if you read between the lines, or not even what Scott Bessent said, we have no deals, right? There's nobody that is really there saying, this is what we're going to do. And they paused it anyway.
And circle the drain they did. The estimated loss in the market is upwards of $6 trillion. And those facing the brunt of it are not the billionaires, because here's Trump boasting about how they made millions during the dip. But it's everyday working people, many of whom actually voted for their own demise.
When I say the fifth largest economy in the world, this is important to understand. We're the 10th pole of the U.S. economy. 14% of the GDP in the United States of America emanates from the state of California. We're the largest manufacturing state, $421 billion. The next largest state is Texas, and we're 41% bigger than Texas. We have more jobs, 150% more than the second state, jobs in forestry, in agriculture, in fishing. This state represents in so many ways, it's a microcosm of the United States of America. And so we feel these impacts in a profound and consequential way. The trade war that Donald Trump has just launched, because there'll be a reaction, there already has been a reaction, is going to be felt in pretty profound ways to real people, average people, including those that voted for Donald Trump, those that were betrayed by this very administration.
The whole country is reeling right now from the economic disaster Trump has plunged us into. He destroyed more than $10 trillion in American wealth in a single week. And then he went golfing and bragged to America about winning the tournament at his own golf course. That's like bragging about being endorsed by your own campaign manager. So much winning. The country can hardly stand how much winning Trump is doing for himself and Elon Musk and his billionaire cabinet. Perhaps he could have yelled "4" on the Greenway so tens of millions of Americans could have taken our retirement savings out of the stock market before he hit us in the head with a golf ball.
And listen, while it's important to highlight the rare moments of sanity on the Murdoch-ran propaganda machine, it's also important to reiterate what you won't hear on Fox News. Who exactly benefited from this roller coaster? Yeah. What is a Trump presidency without the scheming and market manipulation that actually happened during his first term, happening again to help pad the wealth of the wealthy at the detriment to everyday people? According to Bloomberg, the world's wealthiest people added $304 billion to their combined net worth on Wednesday, the largest one-day gain in the history of Bloomberg Billionaires Index. This after Trump pledged to pause tariffs on some trading partners, but not before he tweeted out, "Now's a good time to buy."
President Trump posted on social media that it was, quote, "a great time to buy stocks." A few hours later, he announced a pause on tariffs, which sent the market skyrocketing. Your colleague, Senator Adam Schiff, says Congress should investigate whether Trump and his inner circle engage in insider trading. Do you agree?
I noticed that. And that's just one of another outrageous things. Imagine, I don't know for a fact. But would I be surprised if there were people who hours before knew exactly what Trump was going to do in rescinding his tariff proposals, understanding that the stock market would soar and you make huge amounts of money? Would I be shocked if we learned about that in the days to come? No, I would not.
Does that announcement that he gave cover to anybody who did buy stocks?
Well, what it does do, look, if you know 2 hours earlier that the stock market's going to go, what are you going to do? You're going to buy a hell of a lot of stock. You can invest it in the stock market. But it's not only that. I mean, you got a president of the United States who is now working to give government cover to crypto, and whose family is involved in crypto, makes money by selling coins, crypto coins. Anybody can contribute, which is a direct line to the president. So, I have serious problems about all that.
And who would have guessed it? The largest individual gainer Wednesday was, wait for it, of course, Elon Musk, who added $36 billion to his fortune as Tesla stock jumped 23%, followed, of course, by Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who gained almost $26 billion. And let's remind ourselves who was at Trump's inauguration again. But it wasn't just the billionaires. Marjorie Taylor Greene has found herself in hot water after she disclosed a plethora of new stock purchases on Wednesday, prompting calls for an investigation by prominent Democrats.
And what I want to know, what we want to know, is what did Marjorie Taylor Greene know before that announcement happened? And what stocks did she and her family trade leading up to that announcement?
About market manipulation on the back of Donald Trump's
Absolutely. I have many questions. I'm very curious as to some of the discussions that were happening at the NRCC dinner, the Trump speech the night before this tariff announcement. I'm very interested in the May 15th disclosure deadline for members of Congress and what members of Congress, Republican or Democrat, were trading the day before and the morning of the tariff announcement. And I'm very interested in tracking some of the communications and who was communicating with whom in the 48 hours preceding.
What should the next step be, do you think?
Pardon?
What should the next step be, do you think?
Well, there are a couple of next steps. The most obvious and clear next step, I believe, is moving to the floor the insider trading ban for members of Congress. Now, of course, that is challenging to do when many of the people who would be subject to that.
And rightfully so, because if you don't think this is market manipulation and insider trading, I have a great $60 God Bless America Bible to sell you. It's made in China.
I have nothing against China. I just hate that their leaders are so much smarter than our leaders.
Ties? Where are the ties
They
made?
have to work
These are
too.
beautiful ties.
They are great ties.
The ties are made in where? China? Ties are made in China.
Well, I'll tell you, and you know what?
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.